Oh, welcome in. It's the Positively Petland Show. I'm Jake Cabron, KXIC morning host, in the new time slot, 9 a.m. Sundays. You'll hear this show on the radio. Ron Salzrud, the owner of Petland of Iowa City, with his wife Wendy and their lovely family. They own Petland of Iowa City. And for any of you new to the show, we'll explain what this is all about. For those of you that have found us moving from our time slot Thursday morning, we appreciate you finding us and sticking with us. And those listening on the podcast, thank you too. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, thanks for tuning in to the Positively Petland Show. We're going to reintroduce ourselves. I mentioned I'm the morning host, Jake Cabron, here on KXIC. You can catch me Monday through Fridays on your morning vibe. And on Sundays now at this time slot, as we record this show a little earlier in the week, and talk about pets. That's what we do here on the Positive Petland Show. Ron Salzrud, tell our listeners, reintroduce yourself if you could. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Petland.
I am Ron Salzrud with Petland in Iowa City. Wendy and I have owned that store for 9 years. 2006 is when we took over that store, and so that went by very quickly. We still feel like every day is a new day. Like, oh, got to learn this, got to do this. So it's a fun challenge that we took on. My background is a little different than I think what everybody might think. I'm a mechanical engineer, got a master's in engineering, got it from Northwestern over in Illinois. So I did that for 20 some years and said, you know what, I want to do something different. And I always wanted to own my own company. And Wendy, luckily, after talking about it for many, many years, she said, all right, let's go do something. And so we ended up purchasing the store. It had been previously owned by two different families, and we were the third family. And it just had been a fun time. Never thought I would be owning a pet store when I was younger. But holy cow, our kids love it. We love it. And it's just been a very interesting, fun ride.
And listeners know that we love it too. My family, my wife, Devin, and Jack, we like to come by and play with puppies. And that's one of the things I know you encourage, is to encourage the social aspect of it. So you're still working on me. We have an ongoing fun shtick here about the ability to maybe end up with the dog. We have two cats in the family. We haven't taken that step to the dog, but I think my wife's going to work me down finally, eventually. I should also mention we're not the only two in the studio. We have two puppies here, and that's one of the other fun things about this show, is that most of the time Ron brings along some puppies here that are at the store. They usually don't stick around long. Do you have the numbers? It's average, 2 or 3 days?
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks.
Our puppy stays in our store on average less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks.
So I'm out every week working with the breeders. I work directly with them and see what's happening all as well, alongside the USDA, who actually met the new inspector for our area this week. So actively engaged with breeders and inspectors and AKC and all sorts of different things that you get involved with. And so that's the fun. I get to see puppies. We're talking week-old puppies every week. It's just amazing.
Well, and that's something we like to talk about too. And some people will connect pet stores with puppy mills, and you hear bad stories about puppy mills and how dogs are mistreated. One of the things I know you're proud of and you like to point out is the fact that you're triple checked. You have the USDA. We mentioned.
I'm out there.
You're checking up on it, and you have your own pride and your own. You want to make sure it's done right. And then overall, Petland, out of all of them, is probably your biggest critic, right? Because they don't want to see their name be dragged through.
Exactly.
And so they're out there. Yeah, the breeders you're working with, they're licensed breeders. They are being checked out, and so one of the problems that happens is that, puppy mills, a lot of those places you see are unlicensed. These are places where there's no regulations. And when you're buying that puppy on Craigslist or one of these other places, you may be buying one through. You never know. And so
the numbers out there, pet stores account for less than 4% of all puppies or dogs being sold in the United States. There's no way to only sell that quantity. There is no way that they really can have that much of a significant impact on the greater population out there as far as prevention and all that, as far as puppy mills. The bigger picture looking at it is there's about 8,000 breeders in the United States. Only about 1,700 are looked at by the USDA. Those are the ones that we work with. And none of those, I selected. I only work with, gosh, 6 or 7 breeders out there. Those are the ones that I've selected because I liked what I saw. They were good people. They took care of their pets, their animals, all that kind of stuff, and really appreciated what they did. So it's the cream of the crop, so to speak, of the USDA. The thing that you need to be, watching out for. I know that our store is not the right thing for everybody. Nobody's perfect for everybody. All I'm saying is if you're going out there and you're working with somebody that's not USDA being looked at and everything, I just be really cautious of what you're doing, because there's over 6,000 breeders out there that nobody's looking at. That's where the troubles are. There are good people doing that, but like any industry, there's some bad people out there, and that's where you get into that puppy mill aspect.
And you see the photo and how powerful that can be. And I know that's the unfortunate thing, is that pet stores can be linked to that. And let's face it, over the course of time, there are some pet stores that haven't done it right. But when you buy a puppy from Petland of Iowa City, Ron will talk to you about it. This is something I know you're not afraid to talk about. You're happy to talk to customers about this, and you want people to know. And I want to get that out there right away, especially because of new listeners. Like I know some people hear, "Oh, Petland," and they think, maybe it's a puppy mill related. So just know that when you're buying a dog from Petland, they're triple checked, and Ron will be happy to talk to you about it. The 2 puppies here in studio, which type of puppies do we have?
So they're both from the same litter. These guys are American Eskimos mixed with the Shiba Inu. So 2 purebreds mixed together to make that mix.
They're furry.
Yeah, and they look like, actually, for me, the body is a Shiba Inu. The coloring is pretty close to Shiba Inu, but you can see a little differences at that point. When they get older, they're going to be a little fluffier, though, than a Shiba Inu. So
perfect for this weather, huh?
Yeah. In these cold temperatures, I'm out with these guys. They're like not bad, and I'm like shivering and cold. I look at them, and they're just like kind of looking around, going, "Hey, life is beautiful here." So they are really good in these cold weathers as well, because of that double coat that they have, really thick coat that the Shiba Inus and the American Eskimos have.
And we're going to talk about that today. That's one of the topics today, is how to keep your dogs warm when the temperatures do get to be really dangerously cold like they have this past week. We're going to also feature the Shiba Inu as the breed of the week. Now, that's something that's slightly changed here, because we're not taking live phone calls anymore for the show. But if you email us and tell us that you have the breed of the week, we could set you up with a free bag of treats and a free bag of dog food, courtesy of Neutral.
Yeah. Contact with the station, and you'll give them that information.
Yeah, if you hear the breed of the week is your breed, just let us know. That's something fun that we've been doing, is giving away a free bag of treats and a free bag of dog food if the breed that we do that week is your breed. If your dog is, for instance, this week, if you have a Shiba Inu, send me an email. That's news@kxic.com. That's news@kxic.com. And that's one of the most fun things that I think about this show. We've been doing it now. Is it 3, 4?
Oh, I think it's 4.
4 years. Yeah. 4 years. Wow. Is that we go over these different breeds. It's 52 weeks a year, almost every week. And so we feature a breed. Lon, when we get further into the show, he's going to break down what the Shiba Inu is, size, history, what temperament is like, and all these fun things. And you'll learn about all the different fun breeds out there. And there's so many. And through the course of the show, maybe you'll hear about a breed that sounds like it's right for you. And so we're going to do that. We'll do the breed of the week. And then we also have a friend here at the show called Big Voice Guy. And Big Voice Guy, he's coming with on Sundays too. And Big Voice Guy is always wearing something different. He's always causing trouble, and he always is giving us a hard time here at the studio. And he announces the amazing pet story of the week. Every week we find a story that a pet that did something amazing, and he introduces the segment. And it's about time for that. So we'll do the amazing pet story of the week. Big Voice Guy, are you okay with this move to
He's
Sundays?
doing a whole New Year's. He's still in a diaper. He's acting like the firstborn. He's in this diaper.
He's got a diaper, and he's got an empty bottle of champagne. So I don't know what's going on with Big Voice Guy.
Yeah, and a day-old beard.
Yes.
Clean it up.
Can you get us at least the intro? Come on. Okay, here we go.
It's time for the amazing pet story of the week.
No matter how ragged he looks, he always comes through with the big voice, right? The amazing pet story of the week. All right, thanks, Big Voice Guy. I can get the heck out of here. All right, we go to Arizona today for the good place to go, huh? Arizona, known for its warm temperatures. However, it is known that in the month of February, it can get downright cold after dark. Some people may not know that my dad lived in New Mexico for a little bit of time, and he said he was one of the first things he was surprised about how cold the desert nights can actually get. It was on one of these cold nights that a 3-year-old little girl named Victoria Bench vanished while playing in her yard. She wound up spending the whole night outside in 30-degree temperatures, wearing little more than just a t-shirt. Fortunately, she had a friend with her that kept her warm. One of the Bench family dogs, a Queensland Heeler named Blue, stayed by the girl's side as she wandered off. Victoria walked and walked with her lifelong pal and apparently got lost. She didn't know where she was at. Her disappearance triggered a massive search. A rescue helicopter finally spotted Blue first, then Victoria, just before 9 a.m. the following morning. She was rushed to the hospital, treated for frostbite, and her mom saying, "We have to give a lot of credit to Blue. He pretty much stayed with her by her side all night long." So Blue, the amazing pet story of the week. He kept her warm for part of the night, and they ended up finding the dog first and then her. So Blue's the amazing pet story.
Yeah, that is amazing. I thought it was going to get ugly there for a second. Yes. I was not feeling comfortable.
That's another long-going joke on the show is that when I first started these stories the first year, there was a lot of death. There would be like that would happen if the little girl had died or something.
Yeah, like that.
So we kind of pulled back on that. There hasn't been a lot of death too bad with these stories.
No people dying.
Good, happy stories at the end of the day. All right, so that's the amazing pet story of the week. When we come back from the break, we are going to talk about how to keep your dogs warm this very, very bitterly cold winter in Iowa. There's some things you can do to help keep your dogs warm. You talked about those little boots for the snow that some people like to have as well. What else are we going to talk about?
The potty training. About half the audience right now is struggling with potty issues. Even with those adult dogs, they're not going outside. They're not doing their business out there. You know, they're doing it in the house. I'm going to give you some tricks and thoughts and work with you on how to get your dog to go back outside and get that stuff done, even in the coldest weather. So we'll talk through that.
And the Shiba Inu is the breed of the week. Ron's going to tell us what the Shiba Inu is. Strange name. Where are they from? How big do they get? What do they look like? The Shiba Inu, the breed of the week. And that's all coming up here on the Positively Petland Show in its brand new time slot, 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings. You can catch the show. And hey, for all you loyal listeners that enjoyed the show on Thursdays, it'll be available, probably not this first one because we're slacking a little bit, but after this, it'll be available probably around 9 o'clock or so. I'll upload the audio, and you'll have that podcast about an hour later than you're used to it. But hey, you can still listen on Thursday mornings if you would like to, because this is when we recorded the show. It's a lot of fun. It's a Positive Petland Show. Thanks for coming along. We'll be back. And I should also mention, we don't just talk about puppies. We talk about cats. We talk about lizards and small mammals, fish.
Season right now.
There's how many products do you have at Petland?
Over 9,000.
Over 9,000. So any of you that have pets, you need supplies, that's the place to go. It's Petland, Iowa. We'll be right back. They're located right off Lower Muscatine. It's right near the Sycamore Mall, a.k.a. newly branded Iowa City Marketplace, soon to be home of Lucky's Market right across the street there. And we hope you get out there and have some fun at Petland. We'll be back with more of this. welcome back. It's the Positively Petland Show, AM 800 KXIC. I'm Jake Capron, morning host here. Brand new time slot, 9 a.m. on Sundays from 9 to 10. You can hear the Positive Petland Show on KXIC, AM 800. Or you can listen to the podcast at kxic.com anytime after about 9 a.m. on Thursdays. It's a weekly show. We record it at 8 a.m. hour on Thursdays, and it's available for podcast at kxic.com. We learn about pets. Ron Solzer here, the owner of Petland of Iowa City. The Shiba Inu and American Eskimo mix pups are running around. We have two of them. Is there a boy out of those two, by the way?
Yes.
The reason I mentioned that, we like to name the dogs so they're easier to reference instead of saying, oh, the gray and white one or whatever it is. So we like to name them. Which one's the boy, or are they both boys? Do you happen to know? We'll do a little check here. A little gender check live on the radio. We'll find out. White one is a female. Black one is a male. So black one's going to be Elvis. And you know why?
No.
When we're recording this today, I just heard that Elvis would have been 80. And this is Thursday, January 8th. But I guess he would have been 80.
Yeah.
So
it's a tragic accident. I wish he was still around.
Yeah. Some people think he's still in.
He is. I mean,
and there's Elvis. So we got the black one, Elvis, and the white one. Well, we got to do Priscilla, right? Elvis and Priscilla.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I like it, yeah.
Presley pups here in the studio. And so Elvis is black. It looks like white paws. So,
white paws. And then he's got like little flecks of white hair coming out around his nose and then on his front paws. Really, really pretty.
They very much look like the American Eskimo. Is that curled tail part from the Shiba Inu?
Yeah, the Shiba Inu. Yeah, a lot of the structure. Your opinion is the Eskimo. Mine is they look identical to a Shiba Inu.
But the head, though, do Shiba Inus have pointed ears too?
Yeah.
Okay, so that see, I thought the Eskimo's head, and the white one specifically looks like looks like Eskimo.
For the Shiba Inu customers out there, we do have two Shiba Inu purebreds in the store as well, and that's not a common thing. Shiba Inus are not as popular as before, and so they just don't see them as much.
He smells good. You got that good new puppy smell. Hello, this is Elvis. He's sniffing the microphone. He's getting kisses. Thank you. So
throat all ready.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for petting me. I like it. I like it very much. All right, so tell us about the Shiba Inu, and then we'll get into some of the other topics. What is the breed here?
So the Shiba Inu is a descendant from Japan. So ancient Japan, they developed the Shiba Inu up in the mountainous regions. And the reason why they're a shorter, or not a short leg dog, but they're a smaller dog. Stout.
Right.
But the muscles are really strong in the Shiba Inu. And they have that double coat. That's the mountainous region. But one thing else that was going on in the mountains is there's a lot of growth, vegetation growth, and all that kind of stuff. The Shiba Inus were small enough where they could race underneath the shrub and the growth and all that kind of stuff to get the what they were hunting for. So the hunting dog, is most dogs are hunting dogs. And this one was specially designed for that undergrowth, strong, thick fur to handle those temperatures and everything like that. So it's a neat history of a dog. Actually, Shiba Inu refers to brushwood, which then refers back to what it was trained for or designed to do, going underneath the brush and everything. So that's a little bit about the history. World War II almost decimated the population in America.
Oh no!
Of the Shiba Inu. The bombings and distemper really took hold of this breed. Luckily, we had some really quality breeders that had some off to the side that didn't get any effect of them, got the bloodlines going again, and then we have the Shiba Inu because of that today, that somebody really was concentrating and making sure that purebred continues.
And that is a perfect example of what I referenced earlier about learning things about the breed. I'm guessing a lot of listeners, I know we've even done the Shiba Inu. I don't even remember that, so that's a good little note there that we almost didn't have the Shiba Inu because of human events, World War II. So they were able to save him, and thankfully we've got Elvis and Priscilla romping around the because of that.
So now, is this the right breed for you is what I always like to bring out and say, okay, so what, in our store, one of the first things that we want to know is, what are you looking for? And understand why. It's not always, we might discover the best thing for your environment. It might not be the right breed for you and all that kind of stuff. So we're just trying to match up the right pet with the right family and meet the needs of both. That's our total mission in our store. And so the Shiba Inu, are you looking for a dog that's energetic? Because do not get a Shiba Inu thinking that it's going to be a lazy dog. Maybe in its older years, but all the way through 10 years of age, this is going to be one active dog. The second thing, are you looking for a smaller dog? This one definitely is in that on the high side, you're in that 25-pound range, but you can get all the way down into the 15-pound range. So it's kind of that smaller, mid-sized dog that's out there. Do you have a family that loves to play, and we're looking for that interactive dog? That kind of a thing. A Shiba Inu would be a great one for you. Are you sensitive on shedding? Because the Shiba Inu is a shedding dog, and they're going to shed about twice a year. And when they start shedding, it's going to come off, in quantity. And so, if you're sensitive to the shedding aspect, then you might want to shy away from the Shiba Inu, or consider a Shiba Inu mixed with a purebred to cut down on that shedding. At this size of a dog, I don't think it's going to be a major issue. If you're used to like a golden retriever, that's major shedding in a big dog. This is a smaller dog, so it's going to be less than that. And you couple that with a Furminator, those really good de-shedding combs,
The Furminator.
and you now have that all under control. I also point out, a lot of people say, I'm looking for a dog, a low-maintenance dog. A low-maintenance dog would not be a non-shedding dog. So the ones that the hair grows really long, those do require maintenance, though. At least daily combing, bathing, conditioning, grooming, all sorts of different things for those dogs. Whereas Shiba Inu, other than that shed, there's not much maintenance that you're going to be doing as far as the dog goes. So it's a lower maintenance dog in that relationship. So those are some of the characteristics of it. Very energetic. Some people would describe the Shiba Inu as independent. It can take care of itself. Some people would also describe it as cat-like. Earlier today, I was noticing one was grooming the other one, like a cat would groom. And so they tend to be a cleaner dog as a result. So those are some neat traits of the Shiba Inu. Like I said, they're going to get into that anywhere from that 15 to 25 pounds. If you measure from the shoulder, 13.5 to 16.5, typically in that area. So you can kind of put your hand down at that level and go, that's how big the dog will be as an adult. You might be going, okay, well, I live in an apartment. Is that okay? This dog, because of its size, is okay for an apartment or a condo or a small house, and then obviously for the bigger ones as well. You're going to need some outdoor activity with this dog. Normally, I would say, hey, get all the exercise it needs indoors. And this will. 90% of what it needs, it can take care of inside your house. It's going to run around and chase and all that kind of fun stuff. But this guy does have energy. It's something I would really encourage you to do some outdoor activity, throw the ball around. Even in some of these cold weathers, they would enjoy getting out, throwing the ball around and retrieving it. Probably not for too long in these sub-zero type temperatures, but they will enjoy that outdoor activity. So again, if you're looking for that really energetic outdoor, kind of a robust dog, but hey, I don't want a big dog, I want a small dog, this is going right down your alley in that way. And then we talked about the shedding and grooming aspects of things. So that kind of rounds out the Shiba Inu.
What about color?
Colors, the purebreds come in everything from sesame. So it's kind of like a fox-like color, but they also come in black and white.
Okay, then we have black.
Cream.
Yeah, Elvis is black and Priscilla is white, and they are very cute pups here. And you can see them at Petland of Iowa City. Hopefully available still there. You never know how quickly that they'll go home to a new family. But one thing I want to get to before we move on to the next topic, Ron, because you brought it up, and I think it's a good time to talk to our listeners about this. You talked about your mission statement and how what you want to do is to find the right pet for the right family and meet the needs of both. And one that sticks out in my mind is something I brought up in the past. I think it's a good thing to bring up because it's probably what you see often is that someone sees a certain type of dog and they like the way it looks, or their family, they saw another family, or their family's always had this type of dog. There's a lot of reasons why people would want a certain breed. But if you got a dog, if I throw this example at you, I think it'll be a good example. If I love a bulldog, right? I see this English bulldog, and I'm in love with this English bulldog. I want that dog, right? And then I come in the store and say, you know what? I want to take this out. I'm a marathon runner. I like to run with my dog all the time. That's the perfect example of someone that would come in, and at that point, what would you tell them?
I would say, understand, it's great that you're a marathon runner and that you want to go for the run, but realize the English bulldog is the least active of all dogs. It's the laziest dog out there. So it's going to go for, gosh, I normally for the small breeds and go, they're going to run for about a half a block and then say, carry me. English bulldog is going to go to the end of the driveway. One lap around the house, it's done.
Right.
It's done for the week.
And so that would be an example of it's one that you love the look, you think it's what you want, but when you go there and have that discussion, you may find there's another breed that, for whatever reason, sort of looks the same or just fits much better with what you're looking for. And you're not going to be happy. The problem that would arise there is they go and get that dog. They go home with it, and then guess what? Yeah, it doesn't want to run. You're upset. You're upset with the store. The store's upset because they didn't fit with you, and so that's why you're always trying to have these conversations, right? And make sure that you're.
9 years ago, the first puppy that I sent home with the customer, they came in. It was a young couple, married, both working, had a house, had a yard, had a fence, and they came in and we love Yorkies. We love Yorkies. I mean, they were giddy about Yorkies, and I said, what is it that you love about Yorkies all much? Tell me more about why you have this passion for Yorkies. And they did exactly what you said. They go, well, we want to go running with this little Yorkie. We want to go play ball and all this kind of stuff. And I was like looking at him. I did the puppy look at him. I kind of turned my head a little sideways and went, the Yorkie's not going to go very far. They ended up going home with a Labrador Retriever because that was the right pet for the right family there. And they had a fenced-in yard. Oh, gosh, the needs were met in all sorts of different ways. And they were ecstatic about bringing that lab home, in there. They were just when I think they were happy to get a dog because when I brought the lab out, it was like, oh, we can actually get a lab. You have a lab. This is so cool. And so they were just as happy and eager about that Labrador Retriever.
And that's why I just think it's important to have those conversations if you're serious about having a dog. And that's what you'll get at Petland. The counselors are trained to have these conversations with you to talk about your needs and what would fit with your family. And so I want to bring that up. And as we get ready to let's move into the next topic. It's super, super cold outside. What can you have to keep our pups warm?
So, beginning the really simple stuff. If you're seeing your dog struggle a little bit in these colder temperatures, even indoors, get a thicker bed. There are some wonderfully both small and big thick beds. I
want to sleep in this one.
The bed that I brought in, and if you go on YouTube and you look up Petland Radio Show, is it Petland Iowa City Radio Show? Look it up on YouTube, and you'll see this streaming right now, and then it's recorded for the future. This bed is obnoxiously comfortable.
I don't think my cat, Lucy or Zoe, either one of them would get out of this. I think they'd be permanently attached to this thing.
We have so picture a donut with a really thick bottom on, and that's what this guy, really fluffy,
super fluffy.
And then for cats, we actually have one that is taller. So the portion on the inside, it's almost like a tall hat, but picture really fluffy, really thick, and the cat can go burrow way into that. And it's wonderful. We discovered that this year at a trade show, and we have sold probably 50 of those things this year already.
So nice warm bed.
Really different beds.
That's a good place to start. Warm bed.
So nice warm bed. Now, I think half the audience that's listening right now is saying, I got a problem with my own dog not wanting to poop or pee outside right now. What am I supposed to do? Because they're doing it inside, and I got all these stains and things that I'm now struggling with. You're going to hear over time, I'm going to really advocate for using a kennel. And this is, I'm going to show you how to use a kennel and some patience in this situation. So if you don't have a kennel, if you're a little opposed to it, hey, I'm not here to change your mind or anything, but I do want you to think of the kennel for a dog is like a crib for a baby. It just has the top on it. You want to make it comfortable, nice, and fun for that dog in there. And we'll talk about different ways of using that kennel for training purposes. So let's say it's a cold day today, and you're bringing your dog out to go potty, and you know there's going to be a little resistance. So there's boots out there for dogs, and in my family we tried the boots, and we just could not keep those boots on even when they were outside and it was cold. They were kicking them off. And you're like, okay, so there are different boots that we have in the store. If you wanted to try that kind of a thing, we have boots of all different athletic varieties. So if you're running with them, we have athletic boots for running. If you're just bringing them out for potty, we have those kind of like slippery boots. We even have a balloon type boot that is disposable over time. You can actually use these throughout the year. So those are your first lines of defense if you wanted to try them. A lot of dogs do work well with them. You got to put them on when they're in the house. Let them walk around and get used to it for a while before you can really put them out in the snow and let them use them.
Get the video camera out. Right?
Get the video camera out when you put these things on, because they'll do a high step thing, and it's really, really fun. So if you've tried it around, that doesn't work for my dog. The next thing that I say is we have this tin that is like lip balm. So you know what you put on your lips. Their paw pads are, not the same thing as their lips, but they're going to get dry. They're going to get cracky. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in colder weather, if you wear lip balm, your lips will be a little warmer as a result, because there's an insulative layer as a result on your lips. Same thing would apply to their paws. And so this lip balm, or this balm that you can put on their pads, and it's a nice, really easy applicator that they have for it. You do it right when they walk out, or as they're walking outside. Now they have a mild insulator. They also you're keeping their pads moist and hydrated, so they're not cracky. Because just think if you had when you have dried out lips and they're cracky, it's very uncomfortable. And when you go outside, oh my goodness, that really hurts. Same thing would happen with them. So it's a great product to use during the winter months. I do use this on my dogs when I let them out in the winter. I put it on all for their paws, let them run out. They actually will get most of the lip balm, the excess, off when they come in. I do a real quick wipe just to get the snow off. And there's I don't get the tracking around the house as a result of the lip balm as well. So that's how I apply this product. There's also, if you do have a dog that's in need of some help really quick because of the pads are cracking, we have Tenderfoot for the dog, where you can actually apply a cream to their paws. Maybe right before they go to bed or going into their kennel, they're going to lay in bed. Maybe apply that cream at that point so that they wake up and their paws are nice and moisturized and ready to go for the next day. Now, so those are some things that I do for dogs that you can't get those boots on them, so that they have a little protection out there. The last line of defense, and this is something that I was working with a customer yesterday. She's tried everything, and she's just really frustrated. She actually just adopted a dog. So this is about a 3-year-old dog, a little Chihuahua. And she's like, that dog, gosh, we were told it was potty trained, but with this cold weather, it's going in a house and it will not go outside. In fact, the funniest thing, we all know that the dogs kind of start lifting their paws up when they're starting to get cold and everything. Her dog does that, but then lays down and puts the paws up. I go, I've never heard of that in a dog. And I go, oh, that's precious. But as a result, the dog will not do any business outside. She goes, I've tried the boots. I cannot get those on. They kick it off right away. She did go home with the lip balm, and she goes, but is there any other strategy? And all of a sudden it occurred to me, is why not take that old fleece blanket or some kind of a blanket that you don't really care about anymore. You want to keep it inside, keep it clean, so you're going to have to wash it and stuff like that. But as you're walking out the door and walking with the dog in your arms and going out to that grassy area, which is now really so snowy and freezing, spread the blanket out over that area, maybe even shovel that area, put it down, now put your dog on top of that blanket. Now it's an insulative layer. It's not a boot. It is outside, and so some dogs might be a little confused on the front end, and we'll talk through that in a little bit here. but it's a way to insulate their feet from the ground. You will have to bring that back in, or it's going to just be another cold thing that they're going to step on if you leave it outside. So it is some washing and everything, a little more maintenance, but hey, get your dog going outside and doing the pooing and peeing outside. Now, let's talk about the situation where, okay, let's say I put them down on that blanket, or you are trying to get your dog just used to the cold weather, and you put them down, whether it's on the blanket or on the snow or on the shoveled area, and they just stand there and they're just freaked out because of the cold, and then they start lifting their paws and everything, but you know that they got to go poo or pee at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Pick them back up after 30 seconds, especially if the temperatures are below 10 degrees. They can't last too long out there, and really, we can't expect them to do anything after about 30 seconds. Pick them back up, walk back in the house, and put them in the kennel. What you're doing now is just going to give them a time to warm up and all that kind of stuff. If you let them walk around the house, they're going to go, oh, well, I can pee in here, I can poop out there. Mm-hmm. They tend to not do that in their kennel. In future shows, we'll talk about more about that potty training of why don't they, or if my dog does do that in the kennel, what can I do now? There are ways to handle that as well. But let's just address that they're not doing it outside. So you're going to put it in the kennel for 10 to 20 minutes, not long. Let them warm up, pick them back up, walk right back outside, put them down, and let them do the whole rigmarole again. You do that, usually by the second time, they're starting to do their business outside. Third, fourth time, 95 to 99% of you will have your dog go. You just have to keep that pattern going so that they know that they're going to go potty outside as opposed to inside. And they will urinate and take care of that. So it's just a repetition thing at that point. 30 seconds outside, oh, too cold, pick them back up, put them in the kennel. Only for about 10 to 20 minutes maximum, pick them back up, and then walk back outside and put them back down again and let them have another 30 seconds. So just keep on repeating that cycle until they do their business and everything.
And that's a very good tip. So that way, I would only imagine how nice that would feel for someone who's gotten past that, and then all of a sudden the dog's not going in the house anymore.
Yeah,
so
my dog here, Callie is our dachshund, and she is just over 10 years old. And then Susie, our little trouble child, she's a multi-purpose, a multi-poo. That is 6 years old. Susie and Callie, for years, I had to retrain them every winter. Every time it got cold out, whether there was snow or not, they'd say, I'm not going out there. And so I had to do that whole kennel thing with them. And for them, after the second or third winter, it only took them one cycle. And then they said, okay, I understand. Or they would sit at the bottom of the stairs and look up at you. I'm not coming back.
No.
Well, they'd be out there. And you like go, why aren't you coming back in? Because I'm so cold, I don't want to even walk. Yeah, Callie will stand in the middle of the yard and just look at you, and while she's lifting her paws, and you're like, so you gotta go out there, help her out a little bit, and get her back in, and they figure it out over time. That, okay, salvation is coming back into the house. I get it, and so they'll start getting that pattern down.
Awesome. So hopefully that helps out some people. Just know that there's a lot of different products, a lot of different things you could try to use to help you out there at Petland of Iowa City. We still have time to feature a few more products that you'd like.
Jackets are really good. Most dogs do now. We can figure out how to get them to keep that jacket on, at least for that little time out while they're going potty outside and everything. So there are all different types of jackets. From there's everything from the sweatshirt type jackets all the way up to multi-layered, like how Columbia has that multi-layered jacket.
Yeah,
and hey, they get those for dogs now, which is really cool. What 3 coats in one? You got the insulated layer. If you need, you put the outer wind jacket type layer, or you can do all 3 or separate, type thing. So there's a lot of fun apparel out there for your dogs.
A wind barker.
You just come out with the best one.
I love it.
And then the last product that I have is realize that how we talked about how the paws do get a little cracky and all that. Salt that you would use out on the streets and that you might use on your driveways and stuff is harsh on their pad. So it'd be like us walking outside on our hands or on our bare feet out there. One, it hurts, but 2, that salt will dry out things very quickly.
It's stuck in the paws too, right?
And it gets stuck, all sorts of things. So at Petland, Iowa City, we do have a special salt just for dogs. so that it's not as harsh on them. It will melt the snow like what you want, but it's not harsh on their pads. So it's a lot easier for the dog to.
I didn't know you had that. So, all right, cool.
So a lot of it in winter, especially when it snows out, it just disappears. And then towards the end of the winter, then it doesn't go as quickly because everybody's got a stash of it in their house. But it's something that you want to have on hand. I use that only where the dogs need, like it's the cement pad that they walk out onto, or the wood deck that they walk out onto. I use it on those areas, just where the dog goes. Out on the driveway, since our dogs don't use the driveway, we just use the normal salts up there.
Okay. We're about out of time here for the Positively Petland show in the brand new time slot from 9 to 10 a.m. Sundays. You can catch the show on AM 800 KXIC or the podcast. Podcast is available just after 9 o'clock on each Thursday morning. We record the show from 8 to 9 a.m. on Thursdays. It's old time slot. And then it goes up online. So you can check it out online at KXIC.com. Two Shiba Inus. We've had Elvis and Priscilla here in the studio. We'll get pics up online here too so you can see what Elvis and Priscilla look like. Anything else you want to mention today as we wrap up?
Just that here we're Petland of Iowa City. Some of the nice things, if you've not been in our store or you're reacquainting yourself with our store, realize we do those $5 nail trims. Lots of customers, we get probably 30 nail trims a day through our store. Just because, hey, it's economical for sure. Allows you to keep those nails a little shorter. Because it's economical, you're probably going to get it done a little quicker. And then you have shorter nails on your dog as a result, because the quick in their nail actually recedes a little bit. Another reason why people love our store is we have really good quality dog food in our store. And it's all competitively priced, and it's on a buy 10, get one free over time. We track it for you, so you don't even have to cut or save or do anything. And when we hand you that free bag of dog food, we always make the day. We go, woo, and you're like, I don't have to pay for that. That's so cool. So it's a nice feature that we have in our store, as well as 1,000 things that are on sale at all times in our store. So there's a lot of fun things going on, and people love to come into our store just to play. You guys do us a service by socializing our pets, everything from the puppies to the kittens to the ferrets, bunnies, pigs, gerbils, hamsters, reptiles. The fish are not really handleable these days, so we've had to put a stop on it. No, we're just joking. Then our fish department is just a wonderful place to just see all the aquatic stuff.
Lots of fun stuff happening at Petland of Iowa City, located right off Lower Muscatine, across from the Sycamore Mall, a.k.a. the Iowa City Marketplace. Soon to be home of Lucky's and Planet Fitness there, so you know where it's at. Go check them out, and we'd be happy to see you out there. As we wrap up, just remember this podcast available at KXIC.com if you'd like to listen in. And we are out of time for the Positive Petland Show. For Ross Alsard, I'm Jay Capron. Bye.
Thank you.
It happens with like a not to say the wrong thing, but a lower level guest.
Yeah, yes, let me club. Urban sounded really excited to talk to you too. He was in a great mood, ready to go. Now he can't be happy.